Hello, NBA fans. Every day we have news about the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm a Lakers fan and I ask for your help by subscribing to the channel and giving me your thumbs up. Unfortunately, Bronny James isn't ready for the NBA yet, but he has potential and could thrive in a few years, but right now the Lakers need players who are effective in the rotation. The Lakers management needs to make an urgent decision about Bronny James, trade him or release him, so they can make room to bring in another player. LeBron James' iconic streak has finally come to an end, albeit as the result of a noble sacrifice. The Los Angeles Lakers star James saw his long-standing career streak of scoring 10 or more points in a game get shattered during Thursday's game against the Toronto Raptors. Playing at Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario, James finished with 8 points on April 17 shooting from the field. However, it appeared that James willingly brought the streak to an end with an unselfish move. With the game tied at 120-120 in the final seconds of the fourth quarter, James, sitting at 8 points, received a pass from Lakers teammate Austin Reeves. Instead of forcing the shot up himself, to either get to 10 points on the spot or have a chance to get to 10 points in overtime if he missed, James noticed that the defense had rotated away from Rui Hachimura in the corner. As such, James gave the ball up to Hachimura, and Hachimura won the game at the buzzer with a three-pointer, giving the Lakers the 123-120 victory. James was also seen celebrating wildly with his teammates after Hachimura's game winner. Before finally ending on Thursday against Toronto, James had gone 1,297 straight career games of scoring 10 points or more, which was by far an NBA record. The last time that he failed to do so was nearly 19 years ago, on January 5, 2007 when he finished with 8 points for the Cleveland Cavaliers during a game against the Milwaukee Bucks. Meanwhile, the NBA's next closest streak of consecutive games with 10 points or more was 866 games by Michael Jordan from March 1986 to December 2001. While some of James' other legendary streaks have recently come to an end as he has aged, the 10-plus point streak had taken on a life of its own and become a staple of internet lore. On Thursday though, that streak finally came to an end, but at least for the sake of James making the right basketball play in order to win the game. Lakers' regret in drafting Bronny James grows as picks they passed on thrive elsewhere. It is biting them in the butt. The Los Angeles Lakers did not draft Bronny James for his basketball talent. Yet as the reasons they did take him diminish, the success of the players they passed on is heaping regret onto the team's shoulders. The Lakers owned the 55th pick in the 2024 NBA draft. That is usually a draft slot with a very low hit rate. Expecting a team to find a hidden gem that late is unrealistic. It's a 1 in 10 chance at finding a rotation player. Thus the downside of using that pick simply for nepotism reasons is relatively low. The Lakers drafted Bronny so that he could be on the same team as his father, LeBron James. They can pontificate about his pedigree and defensive upside all they want, but that is the reason. It's the same basic reason the Milwaukee Bucks employ 2 Antetokounmpo brothers. Keeping a star player comfortable and happy is a reasonable thing for an organization to do, even if it does come with a cost. The problem for the Lakers is not that Bronny James has failed to turn into a rotation player. That was always unlikely to happen. In fact, some of the flashes he has shown are actually encouraging. The problem is that the Lakers are no longer invested in keeping LeBron James as happy as possible because they have pivoted to another star, Luka Doncic. This past summer, the Lakers didn't hand LeBron James the max contract he was looking for. They consulted Doncic, not James, on personnel decisions. They are making it clear that this team is being built around the current point forward MVP candidate, instead of the past one. That makes investing a draft pick and a roster spot in Bronny James look more and more unnecessary. To be fair to the Lakers, at the time they drafted Bronny they had no idea that Luka Doncic would be placed on their doorstep with a bow tied around him. Even still, with LeBron hitting his 5th decade, moving away from him is hardly a surprise. And a somewhat unexpected development is going to make the Lakers' regret at their draft day decision grow. The 2024 undrafted class essentially, all of the players they passed on to draft LeBron's son looks uniquely strong. The Lakers passed on some good players. The Detroit Pistons are in first place in the Eastern Conference with the league's second-best defense. They have continued to steamroll the competition despite absences from Cade Cunningham, Karis LeVert and Jaden Ivey. Ivey has played in just 6 of the team's 21 games. How did they stay afloat? Danis Jenkins. The undrafted guard out of St. John's has been a defensive monster at the point of attack for the Pistons, but most surprisingly has been a capable scorer, shooter and playmaker as the sometimes starting, sometimes coming off the bench point guard next to and instead of Cunningham. He would be a major upgrade to the Lakers' rotation right now. Another upgrade would be Spencer Jones. With Christian Braun and Aaron Gordon missing significant time for the Denver Nuggets, the second-year forward has risen into a major role. He is now starting and playing big minutes, defending and rebounding with energy. What's more, his scoring has popped at times. In his most recent 2 games, he has shot 8-4-12 from deep and scored 44 points. The San Antonio Spurs are deep at guard, with De'Aaron Fox on a max deal, Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle recent top 5 picks, and Jordan McLaughlin and Lindy Waters 3 solid rotation options. Yet when injuries ravaged the guard room, the Spurs turned to Summer League standout David Jones-Garcia, another undrafted 2024 player. Against the swarming Atlanta Hawks, Garcia scored 12 points in 18 minutes with 5 rebounds, 6 assists and 3 steals. He was plus 25 in a 9-point win. His speed and craft with the ball are excellent and he plays with a verve that is ideal in a backup guard. Another player with verve is Justin Edwards. The Kentucky product is a 6 feet 7 inches wing who is in the rotation for the Philadelphia 76ers. He has stepped up into big roles when the Sixers' health demanded it and dropped 20 or more points multiple times. The names continue. Naquan Tomlin has shown real flashes for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Brandon Carlson looks like a career backup center. Jamison Battle is a functional 3 and D wing. P.J. Hall has been in the mix for the Nuggets and Grizzlies the last 2 years. Keshad Johnson is in the Miami Heat's rotation right now. The Lakers made their decision to draft for a reason other than getting the best player available. Using the 55th pick on such a move is defensible. But looking back, the options available could really be helping the Lakers right now, and instead it's Bronny James taking up a roster spot and a seat on the bench. The regret is only going to grow. Lakers are realizing Bronny James isn't ready for the NBA. James has taken 182 three-point attempts when combining his NBA and G League stats in his first 2 seasons, but he has only made them at a 31.3% clip. The Lakers have title aspirations. They don't want to have an inexperienced 21-year-old running the show. If he can't knock down open shots, the Lakers can't trust him to be on the floor. Bronny averaged 11.0 points, 8.0 assists, 3.5 rebounds, and 1.5 steals during his first 2 games with South Bay in this year's tip-off tournament. Those numbers are strong, but not what fans want to see from an NBA player in a lesser league. At minimum, the Lakers wanted more efficiency and defense in the tiny sample. NBA players dominate the G League. Bronny certainly isn't doing that. He produced 0.0 win shares and sits at 0.033 win shares per 48 minutes, with 0.100 being the league average. The former second-round draft pick has been below league average in the developmental league. Lakers fans who watch the games know James isn't ready. The Lakers are 7.3 points per 100 possessions better with him on the bench this season. He has struggled to make shots and even turned down some open looks. Confidence is a must in the NBA, and Bronny just doesn't have it yet. There is still hope. The 6 feet 2 inches guard just turned 21. He is years away from his prime and already a fan favorite. Bronny James will keep getting opportunities on name value alone. Fans know he is working on his craft. James isn't NBA ready, but that doesn't mean he won't get there. Los Angeles Lakers fans would love to see Bronny James blossom into a nightly rotation player. It won't happen quickly, but the talent is there. He isn't ready for the bright lights right now. The Lakers need to let James play in the G League this season and get those valuable reps. His development is important, and the Lakers are realizing that is exactly what he needs. Lakers hope to get Luka Doncic back soon as star guard starts trip away from Team Doncic, who is averaging a league-best 35.3 points per game to go with 8.9 rebounds and 8.9 assists, is away for personal reasons with no set return date. Toronto, Luka Doncic wasn't with the Lakers to begin their 3-game trip in Toronto on Thursday, but the team hopes to have him back soon. The Lakers started the trip with their star guard away for personal reasons. The 26-year-old star is averaging a league-best 35.3 points per game to go with 8.9 rebounds and 8.9 assists in the 16 games he has played this season. "We hope to get him back soon," Lakers coach J.J. Redick said. Obviously, he's away from the team for personal reasons. Don't have a pinpointed day, though. Thursday's game was the first night of a back-to-back set, with the Lakers traveling to Boston afterward to play the Celtics on Friday night. Veteran guard Marcus Smart also wasn't available against the Raptors, sitting out his 4th consecutive game because of lower back injury management. Smart's status is considered day-to-day. With Doncic away from the team, Gabe Vincent stepped back into the starting lineup for the 5th time in the 10 games he has played this season. The Lakers also used an 11-man rotation in the first half against the Raptors, with two-way contract guard Nick Smith Jr., rookie forward Adou Thiero and second-year wing Dalton Knecht getting first-half minutes off the bench. Turnover woes. With the Lakers again facing a team with one of the NBA's most disruptive defenses, the team's ball security, or lack of it, remained a significant talking point. The Lakers entered play on Thursday with a league-worst 16.2% turnover percentage, the percentage of plays that end in a player or team's turnover. They have been especially giveaway-heavy against the teams that thrive with forcing turnovers. The Lakers committed 20 in their losses to the Atlanta Hawks on November 8 and the Oklahoma City Thunder on November 12, both of whom rank in the top 5 of defensive turnover percentage. They turned the ball over 22 times in Monday's home loss to the Phoenix Suns, who rank number 2 in defensive turnover percentage. The Raptors entered Thursday at number 5 in defensive turnover percentage. There have been some higher turnover games against the physical, disruptive teams like Oklahoma City or like Phoenix the other night, but they've been an issue all season, Redick said. "It's hard to pinpoint one thing, to be honest with you. At one point, we've done it now 3 times, but at one point we had to do 3-on-2, 2-on-1, fast break drill. Which I don't think I did in the NBA outside of maybe my first or second year, because we couldn't actually convert on advantage breaks." The Lakers entered Thursday 15-0 in games when they committed 19 or fewer turnovers, and 0-5 when they committed 20 or more. "The number for our cutoff point for turnovers is actually insane," Redick said. "Normally, that number would be like 14, 15, 16. It's 19, an insanely high number. Lakers have a massive problem with LeBron James back. Right now, Week 14. The Los Angeles Lakers may be winning games, but their biggest weakness is becoming impossible to ignore. The Lakers have a massive defensive problem tied directly to LeBron James' aging body and the limitations of the team's star trio. When LeBron, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves share the floor, the Lakers simply can't guard anybody, and it is a glaring concern. The trio bleeds points every time they play together. On NBA on ESPN, Tim Bontemps did not sugarcoat the dilemma. He laid it out bluntly: 91 minutes in 5 games, Luka, Austin, and LeBron together getting outscored by 9 points per 100 possessions, defensive rating of 120.6. That would rank 28th in the league, ahead of only Brooklyn and Washington. Fans might counter with the fact that the Lakers went 4-1 in those games, but Bontemps shut that argument down too, noting, "This is not a small sample size." Last year, those 3 guys on the court had a defensive rating of 117.7, that would rank 27th, ahead of Brooklyn, Washington, and Utah. Basically, what he is saying is this is not a blip. It is a trend, and a troubling one at that. At nearly 41 years old, James is still brilliant in spurts and still capable of controlling games offensively, but defensively, expecting him to anchor possessions is no longer realistic. When the Lakers need verticality, mobility, or physicality, LeBron can't consistently deliver. To be fair, this is not criticism, it is just how the human body operates. When you pair that with Doncic and Reeves, two incredible playmakers who just are not known for their defense, you get a trio that can score with anybody but cannot guard well. That number of 120.6 points per 100 possessions is not a number that will help come playoff time. Right now, the Los Angeles Lakers are 15-5 and sitting near the top of the standings, but every game feels like a reminder that offense is not the problem. Contending teams eventually have to get stops, and right now, the Lakers simply do not. The good news? It is still early enough in the season to fix this. The Lakers can make a move, and frankly, they probably have to. Role players who bring toughness, length, and defensive discipline are out there. Haywood Highsmith is a name out there. He is currently stashed on a rebuilding Nets roster, and he could help come playoff time. Andrew Wiggins is another name that has been floated with the Miami Heat. Herb Jones would also be a dream addition, but that is if the Pelicans ever pick up the phone and pull the trigger. Are we witnessing the beginning of the end for LeBron James in Los Angeles? Copyright Gary A. Vasquez. It is most certainly a new day and a new age in Los Angeles. A city and an organization built on the backs of stars are currently transitioning from one to another. The Los Angeles Lakers are rolling right now despite an embarrassing loss to the Phoenix Suns in their last showing. The Lakers' new star to carry them into the future, Luka Doncic, is playing MVP-caliber basketball, and frankly, so is Austin Reeves. More, do the Lakers legitimately have two MVP candidates? With those two playing so tremendously, it got fans excited to see what the team would look like when LeBron returned from injury. After missing the first 14 games of the season, however, his return has been anything but ceremonious. Since his return, he's been on the brink of spoiling his streak of scoring 10-plus points multiple times, and outside of some games with flashy assists, he has looked very pedestrian for his standards. With the news of a Giannis Antetokounmpo trade reigniting in the past few days, it has brought up an interesting question. Could this be the last season we see LeBron James in Los Angeles? There is buzz that this could be the end for LeBron James in LA. When there is talk of a trade for a player of the caliber of Giannis Antetokounmpo, you explore and dig into every avenue to see if it's possible. In the case of the Los Angeles Lakers, it gets a bit tricky. To match the salary, you would need to trade Austin Reeves as well as 3 to 4 other role players, gutting the depth of this team. Or, you could just trade LeBron James. 1. That's not how you treat your star players, especially not LeBron James. 2. He has a no-trade clause, and I doubt he wants to finish the last year or two of his career in Wisconsin. It does, however, beg the question whether having a player with that kind of salary on the books is worth it at this stage of his career when the no-trade clause makes it a complete non-asset. According to Eric Pincus, there is buzz around the league that the Lakers might be done riding that fence. You always want to make sure your stars, especially GOATs, never feel like they're being forced out the door, but in the Lakers' case, they might be looking to shed that salary in order to fully kickstart this new Luka Doncic-led era. With Doncic out for personal reasons against Toronto tonight, we may just see one last LeBronto performance for the road.